Welcome to the French Drayman channel. I'm Robert Sherwood, and I want to show you how to build two great systems in one. We're going to put in a French drain, and we're going to use the exact same trench, and we're going to maximize our sweat equity to put in a yard drain. Now, what is the difference between a French drain and a yard drain? Well, a yard drain is solid pipe, no perforations. It's solid pipe, and you connect it to drain basins. They're going to collect the surface water. This yard had some areas where there was so much water standing that I decided we needed to put in a dual system. And by dual, I don't mean two perforated pipes and a double barrel French drain. One pipe will be perforated and one pipe will be solid. The yard drain is the solid pipe and it connects to inlet basins. Never tie inlet basins into your French drain pipe because sediment plugs the inlets. So we're using the FDM's high-octane yard drain pipe manufactured by the Baughman Tile Company. We're going to use the solid blue, and we're going to use the 8-slot perforated blue. You can see how much water we're dealing with. There was an active spring. This was in Shelby Township, Michigan, and we had an active spring in the neighbor's yard. The homeowner, which we're representing and working for, they've been living with this mess. Lawnmowers getting stuck. There's water at the surface. There was mosquito larvae, all types of mildew and mold spores. It was just a health hazard. So we want to catch this spring water. We want to catch it in our yard drain, which is our solid pipe with the inlet basins attached to it. And then because the subsurface was so saturated from this spring, we want to have a French drain in place. The French drain will work 365 days out of the year. It'll work 24/7. It won't take a single minute off. We want to make sure that we're continually pulling water from the subsurface. Now, don't be surprised when you put your system in if you're running across tree roots that you would never expect to be there. Many times, a neighbor will cut down a tree or a homeowner will cut down a tree, and then new residency, a new homeowner, ends up finding out the hard way through excavation that there was a tree there. And that's what we ran into. That's why you've seen the mini loader standing up on its nose there. We're chopping through some pretty big surface roots. I mean, these were anchoring roots to a very big tree. Nobody knew that this tree was there. It's kind of an occupational hazard. When you're digging and there's no way to x-ray the ground, you don't know what you're going to find. Now, I've learned it's best to use Google Earth. A lot of times Google Earth will have some, 2-3-year-old maps, and it'll show these big trees. Many times I go out on appointments and I tell the homeowner, well, I know you have big trees. They'll say, oh, no, we don't. They're gone. I'm like, yeah, maybe you had them removed, but what's underground is still there. And I'm still going to have to deal with it. No different than whether the trees were physically present or had been removed. And when the tree companies stump the trees, they just take them down a few inches so that you can put topsoil down and grow grass. They're most certainly not removing all the anchoring roots because they'd be chasing those all over the yard. So you're going to notice that we have one 8-slot FDM high-octane manufactured by the Baughman Tile Company in the 8-slot and one solid high-octane, the royal blue. These are the strongest single-wall pipe manufactured anywhere in the world. You can't beat the strength of this pipe. You can see that we're connecting a basin to the solid one. Again, never connect basins to your perforated pipe. I know that there's some other handymen showing that. That is just giving your French drain an expiration date. What's nice is you can lay your solid pipe right next to your French drain pipe, and you can even burrito wrap it, just roll it up in the stone with the French drain. It's no big deal. All the dirt that gets sucked up during hard rains through these inlet basins, it's going to be in the solid pipe contained. It's not going to end up in the French drain system. It's not going to plug the voids between the stone. It's not going to have sediment and all types of debris that gets caught in the 8 slot. So there you go. Look at 8 slot and solid high octane side by side. And the one was connected to a basin. The other one is just serving as a French drain. So we had a bunch of basins in line on a solid pipe. 2 great systems in one. This is how you can utilize your trench to do both. Just don't put an inlet basin connected to your French drain pipe. It's just going to give it an expiration date. This solid pipe, bark and different things, leaves, all kinds of contamination are going to end up inside this solid pipe. Worst case scenario, if it gets too much debris in it, it could get jetted out. The French drain, on the other hand, jetting it out just forces more debris in those perforations, which compromises the performance of your French drain system. Actually, to one day, this doesn't even work anymore. So you can see those basins, they're all tied into the solid pipe. We're now putting the stone in. We're going to put the stone right on top of the solid pipe and the 8 slot. The 8 slot takes in the water from the stone French drain system. The solid pipe's just taking in the water from the surface through those inlet basins that we connected to the solid pipe. For sure, this is a no-regret system. When you're building a yard drain inside your French drain, you don't have no regret. You know, during the 100-year rain event that we seem to get every 5 years or 4 years, you're going to catch all that surface water and evacuate it. And as far as the saturated subsoils from big rain events, your French drain's going to take care of that, as it works 24/7 for you. There you go. 8 slot next to solid. A royal blue high octane pipe. This is the FDM's royal blue high octane in the 8 slot and the solid. The solid again is tied to those basins right there. We ran a little feeder pipe up to that spring and brought it into our French drain system. That's what that was. What's great is you can go back and watch this again. When you go to install your own, you can follow this blueprint. This is, again, a no-regret system. Now you don't have to say to yourself, I wish I would have had a way to put inlet basins. And you don't want to get desperate and put inlet basins in your French drain system. All this clean stone, all this washed rock, you don't want debris in that. And that's what happens when you put inlet basins in your French drain perforated pipe. So we got the perforated pipe right next to the solid pipe. And again, we're using the 2 strongest pipes, the royal blue high octane. The solid pipes connected to those catch basins, those inlet basins. Super easy to jet it out if need be. Again, you can see the 8 slot to the left and the solid blue to the right. Those are the royal blue FDM high octane yard drain pipe, manufactured by the Baughman Tile Company. The guys are bringing the stone in. They're going to have this buttoned up in no time. So you can burrito wrap that yard drain. Now remember, what is a yard drain? A yard drain is a solid pipe with inlet basins. What is a French drain? A French drain is when you use a perforated pipe like the 8 slot and you put stone around it. The water is pulled from the subsurface through the voids in the stone. They make it into the inlets of the pipe, and then it gets carried out. In this case, we're daylighting them in the ditch out front. So that worked out really well. And we had really good slope. They just couldn't get the water to drain down there. There was so much water from this spring, and it was so saturated. And water always has a hard time finding its way out of turf grass. So you can see we're getting really close. We're almost out of stone. We're going to have just enough stone. You know, if you ever run out of stone and you're putting in a French drain system, and you can see that the pile's getting kind of small, it's super easy to take a piece of the 8 slot Royal Blue High Octane and put end plugs in each end and just add a piece. It makes bigger voids than stone, and it creates a better French drain. That way you won't run out of stone. But you have to notice that early on, that you're running low on stone and you may not make it to the end of the project. So here we are. We have our burrito wrap system. We're pinning all the fabric back. We have our inline basins on our solid pipe, not our perforated pipe. This system's going to last forever. The homeowner is never going to have problems ever again because of how we built it. And there's no maintenance. Unlike other systems that you see guys putting inlet basins on their perforated pipes. See, we daylighted right at the ditch. And we went ahead and put our critter guard, our French Drain Man critter guard, so that nothing can climb up in there and make a cozy little home out of our drainage system.